Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well. This is going to be a video on rose perfumes in my collection, and these are perfumes that have a dominating rose note in them. I have many perfumes that feature rose, but these are the ones that I find to be the most rose forward. So starting off, I think I'll go with this classic rose perfume. That is Paul Smith Rose. This is a very dewy, fresh, light pink kind of rose perfume. It's like a ballet slipper of a rose perfume. The color, the design of this bottle, everything about it perfectly fits the way it smells. It's just very fresh and light. Note-wise, I don't think it has much going on. Should I check? I'll check real quick for you. Yeah, just rose tea, green tea, violet, and magnolia. That all kind of tracks for me. I don't think it's powdery though. It's extremely pleasing. I cannot imagine anybody hating this perfume, and it's a pleasure to wear. The only problem might be that it isn't the longest lasting wear of a perfume, but I have seen reviews where people say it lasts decently on them. For me, maybe I go nose blind to it, but it is a lighter wear, both in terms of like sillage, projection, and longevity, which stinks. So I'm constantly looking for something like this perfume that has better performance. So that's Paul Smith Rose. You can't see it too well in this video, but the color of the juice is really beautiful to me. It's this pinky purple color. I really like this perfume. And it's extremely cheap. So if you like rose and you like fresh, absolutely look into Paul Smith Rose. Okay, another pinky rose perfume to me would be okay, this is Little Flower by Regime de Fleurs, and it's a collaboration with the actress Chloe Sevigny. So this is a perfume that I think she described to them what she wanted in a perfume, and this is what they came up with. And it's another fresh and light rosy kind of perfume, and the bottle design I think is very nice. It's so pleasing, and I like this. It's just plastic, but it's like a gigantic pearl cap. This is a pretty expensive perfume. Usually runs upwards of $200, which kind of sucks. Do I think it's worth $200? Not really. Okay. Yes. So I just made a little spritz, and it's very light and fresh, like I said. I think it also has, looking at the Fragrantica page real quick, it has pomelo. It also has tea in this: blackcurrant, peony, honeysuckle, palo santo, incense, something called lamprocanos. I'm not sure what that is, but it looks like it's some kind of flower. Oh, I think it's bleeding heart flower, which doesn't have a smell as far as I'm concerned, so I guess it's a fantasy note. But yeah, this perfume is great. I do pick up a bit of the tea for sure. It is that kind of tart, syrupy feeling of tea, like if you had a concentrated tea syrup that you put into hot water, kind of like that. And that pomelo adds some more tartness, some green, fruity tartness. This definitely has a fruitiness to it, and that fruitiness is supported well with peony. So if you like peony, you might be interested in this because I'm definitely picking up some of that peony, which to me is brighter than rose. And I've never smelled a non-fresh style peony before. It's a really beautiful flower. I love it. So yeah, this is a fruity, fresh rose, not too sweet. I don't smell Palo Santo in here or incense. So it's a pretty simple kind of linear rose perfume. Definitely finding it to be pink, a little bit red, but more on the pink and light side. But the wear of this is actually pretty nice. I find it lasts at least 5 hours with decent projection. So when you factor that all together, it's a nice smell. It performs well. It might be worth the high price tag. But also, the presentation and the box that it comes in is also very nice. So that is Little Flower. I think I'm going to jump into Red Roses now. And my favorite red rose perfume is extremely cheap, but also I think it's one of the best rose perfumes you can get. And that is here. This is Pacifica Persian Rose. I have it in this perfume. I have it in the body spray up here, which is alcohol free. And with this perfume, yeah, this is just straight up red rose Soliflor. There might be a couple more ingredients in the no breakdown, but all I'm getting is rose, and it's a bit spicy too, so it's verging on that geranium spiciness. But by and large, it's fresh red rose, not pink at all. Maybe a basket of red roses with some pink roses thrown in there, but it is by and large a red rose perfume. I've seen people compare this to Perfumer's Workshop Tea Rose. I had a bottle of that and I gave it away because it was way too much of that. It kind of smelled like a cheap head shop rose perfume oil. I hope you know what I mean, but it had that dry, oily, papery kind of rose that you find in like new age shops or head shops for incense or perfume oils. I don't find this to be like that at all. It's much nicer. Yeah. So if you are still looking for fresh, and honestly, these are all fresh, so I might not even bother saying that. But yeah, a fresh red rose Soliflor that is very inexpensive. And I find that this lasts pretty decently. I get around 5 or so hours of wear, and then I think it does kind of settle into a little bit of a skin scent. But you can layer this with the body spray, and they also have, well, I think it's been discontinued, a lotion. So you could do that. I wish they had a perfume oil for this, but they don't. They have one of those tins of the solid perfume, I think, though. So if you layer this, everything in the line, or with another rose perfume, you could probably get even stronger longevity and all that. Wow, yeah, definitely one of my tops when it comes to rose perfumes, and I'll always have this in my collection. The next one that I'm going to go to is Majeste La Rose from, this is by Serge Lutens. And I've been hunting for a bottle of this for a long time, and I finally was able to get one a few months back, it was still expensive, but it was a fairly good deal, so I scooped it up, and this is, I think, worth it. This perfume, this is a lot like Persian Rose from Pacifica, and people have also compared it to Perfumer's Workshop Rose. They've compared it to Eau Rose from Frederick Mall, but if it was close to any of them, it would probably be Persian Rose. But this is a bit more fruity. This is not a very fruity perfume at all. It's just floral, and it is a red rose type of rose perfume. I'm getting some spiciness, like a little bit of geranium spiciness. I think there might be like honey in this and some other spices like clove. Let me see here. Yep, clove, gaiac wood, honey, musk. But to me, it really is just all about the rose. And there's something a bit green in here, so it feels like it's not just straight up floral. There's just a suggestion of stemminess and leaves. Not that it smells green, but it's like there's more to it than just the petals of the rose. It's very, very nice. I think it's part of some sort of like discontinued or rebottled line from Serge Lutens. So it's not the easiest to get a hold of now, and I heard it was very affordable back in the day, like 10 years ago. So that's really a shame. But I think it's an excellent rose perfume, very much like a red rose Soliflor. If that sounds good to you, then I would recommend trying a sample of this at some time, or if you find a bottle of it for under $150, I'd recommend grabbing it. And it also has good strength and performance. I think it also maintains its character throughout the wear. It doesn't really evolve a whole lot. It might get a little bit spicier, but it's pretty much the same throughout. So that is Sa Majeste La Rose. The next one that I'm going to talk about, I'll go to this one right here. And this is Eau Rose Eau de Parfum from Diptyque. And this came out last year or the year before. And it has chamomile, it has artichoke, and I think there might be like a little bit of citrus in there too. But obviously the Eau de Toilette came out first, and that was very much like a pink, bright, simplistic kind of rose, very similar to Paul Smith rose. And I do like the Eau de Toilette. The Eau de Parfum, though, is also very nice, and if I had to choose between the two, I probably would go for the Eau de Parfum. I'm gonna give myself a spritz. I haven't worn this in a while. This is really beautiful. Okay, so chamomile can be kind of like tea for me. It can come across a bit like that syrupy, tart, hay-like tea. So I feel like it's making the rose a little bit syrupy and then a little bit sweet too. What else is in here? I'm just curious if there's there's lychee in here as well. So lychee, of course, is a very juicy, fragrant kind of fruit. Pretty much like a fresh, fruity smell. I can definitely see lychee being in here and adding to that fruitiness. So it's still an uplifting, rosy scent. But I don't know if I would say that it's a pink rose like the Eau de Toilette version. It's almost like a mauve rose, like where the pink is trying to be, it's not trying to be red, but it's not quite pink, it's not red. It kind of is going off in its own direction ever so slightly, because of the chamomile and the artichoke. It doesn't smell green to me, but I feel like the artichoke is giving a bit of this snappy, juicy, like a snappy kind of vegetal juiciness to this. Also boosting that fruity, juicy rose. I could see this being like a complex rose solo floor. Really nice. And I do think that this is unique amongst the rose perfumes that you encounter at the perfume counter, especially compared to something like Monsieur Cherie or Good Girl or Delina, all of those disgusting roses. Delina La Rose I'm like fine with, but those other ones are disgusting to me. But this is beautiful. I should wear this more often. And there's something a little bit cooling about it. There isn't any mint in here, but there's something that's kind of like watery and cooling. So I could see this perfume being very refreshing on a hot day, during the daytime or even the nighttime. I could see this working very well for that as well. And the longevity and performance on this is very nice. I get at least 5 hours when I wear it. So that's Eau Rose Eau de Parfum, a pinky, purpley, mauve, fresh rose sole floor that has juicy fruitiness to it. Also from Diptyque is a more famous rosy perfume, and that is L'Ombre dans l'Eau. This came out, I think, in the 80s or late 70s, so it's probably their oldest perfume, or one of their oldest perfumes. This one is not a rose soliflor to me. There's more going on here. It has tomato leaf, what else? Tomato leaf, rose, black currant. So those three notes are the most dominating notes. I'm not quite sure what else is in here, but it is like neon green tomato leaf with this very tangy, tart, zippy black currant. And then there's the rose note in here, which is to me sort of like a pinky red kind of rose, a fresh rose. But the three of them are fighting for domination over the other, in my opinion. The black currant, I think, wins out in here. I was debating on if I should even put this perfume in this video, just because it's not so much of a rose soliflor as most of the other ones in here are, but it is pretty rosy. It's like neon green, and there's like neon purple from the black currant, and then neon red from the rose. I kind of see that as a color scheme in the vibe that it gives off to me. So if you like tangy, tart, very textural kind of perfumes where you can feel it, it doesn't feel flat at all. It feels very energetic and zesty. I can't get through a video without using that word. And it's not the easiest word to say, but it definitely has that quality to it. And you like rose, you like green, you would love a more green type of rose scent. This would be great. And I think this is appealing to everybody. I think young people would find it very interesting. I think older people could pull it off as well. It's just an alluring, unique perfume, and I think it's wonderful. And this is the Eau de Parfum version. It's a pretty strong perfume, so you don't need to worry about that with Lombardino Eau de Parfum. I also have the solid perfume of it, and that is a little bit more green and stemmy than this one, which is more tart and fruity from the blackcurrant. So that's Lombardino. I also have, I should just do a video on rose perfumes from Diptyque. I've been thinking of doing that, but I also have the room spray, the Roses room spray. I wish I could wear this as a perfume, but you're not supposed to. But this is this is very close to my ideal kind of rose perfume, which is like bright, kind of a little bit citrusy, a little bit peppery, very, 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 very fresh, almost like a rose essential oil. When you first pour the essential oil out of the vial, that initial burst, yeah. And it's a pinky red kind of rose to me. So yeah, that's the room spray. I like it a lot. I should use it more. Okay. The next one I'll go to is here. This is a recent release from Chanel in their Les Eaux collection. It's Perris, and this is their rose fragrance in that Les Eaux line, which is based off of places that Coco Chanel would go to. The whole idea of it is kind of silly to me, but especially the name, like Perris. I don't know. The fantasy isn't really fantasizing. This is a patchouli rose perfume. So if you like Chanel and you like how they use patchouli, then this is absolutely something to look into. The rose in here is peppery green and kind of like a pale red to me. Not a vibrant, bright red, but a pale, a little bit dusty, kind of muted red. It has pepperiness, and it has that very unique patchouli that Chanel does. If you like Coco Mademoiselle, if you like, what is it? It is it Coco Mademoiselle Privé? That's like Mademoiselle without the patchouli. But this smells very much, it definitely has some similarities with Coco Mademoiselle, but with a stronger kind of rose note. Really nice. This is really nice. I found out actually though, the other day when I was layering my perfumes, I found out that I could achieve the smell of this perfume with two very inexpensive perfumes. And that is Persian Rose, and then a newer perfume in my life, which is, this is Fatan by Risasi. This is a dupe for Terre d'Hermès. So it has like a vetiver, it's a vetiver freshy kind of scent. But the two of these together came very close to Chanel Perris. Anyways, yeah, this is great. Maybe not as much of a solo floor as Paul Smith rose or Majeste rose or Persian rose. Definitely not a solo fleur because of that patchouli, which is, I think it might even be a little bit stronger than the rose actually. But it is floating around in there, just more muted, a little bit paler. People in the reviews definitely pick up on it, I think more than I do though. It's extremely chic, this one, and I think it's suitable to a lot of different environments. It feels very effortless. If you want to be all about the genders, I find this to be very unisex. And what was I going to say? Yeah, very unisex. If you like Rose 31, if you like those kinds of rose patchouli combinations, then definitely look into this one. Perris. It's not sweet. It's just peppery, fresh patchouli and rose. Not the strongest performer though. It's a bit light with the wear, but not atrocious. The next one is going to be, I think I only have 2 left. This is Rose de Taif Eau de Parfum from Paris, Monte Carlo. This is Taif Rose perfume, and Taif Rose is a special variety of rose, and I cannot remember the details of it, but I think it has to be picked at a certain time in the morning. So it's rare, it's very difficult to source, and the supply of it isn't like, there isn't a ton of it there, and it can only be grown in a specific part of the world. It's a country in the Middle East, can't remember which one. So this perfume, this is not fruity at all. This is red rose verging on, not burgundy, but it's somewhere between red and burgundy. So it's more of an intense, heady red rose. Still a fresh one, still a solo fleur, photorealistic. There is also geranium in the note profile, and I can see that it has a spiciness to it, that geranium spiciness that almost is, clove-like at times. So if you want a more intense red rose experience and you like geranium and you are into a rose solo fleur, highly recommend this one. It's very nice. I love bottles that are shaped like this too. It's like the perfect size for my hand. You can feel the texture of the pattern on the label. It's a really nice one. It wears long, has good projection, sillage. So this might be one of the stronger ones in this lineup. And none of them are like horrible, but this is I think one of the stronger ones, if not the strongest. I also have the travel size of the extrait version of this. I think I'm going to talk about that in a separate video comparing the two, but I actually prefer the Eau de Parfum, and I actually find that this performs even stronger than the extrait. So yeah, and this can be had for not a ton. If you go on eBay or Mercari, oftentimes you can find a bottle, even full or brand new, for around $100, between $100 and $130. So that's Rose de Taif, more of a serious, full force red rose experience. It's kind of spicy. last one is a rose perfume that I've talked about before, which is Izia by Sisley. So this perfume, the bottle design and the color, look at that. Look at how it changes. It's glass. The cap is like a resin, but it's glass. This perfume is not a Fleurs to me. It's a little bit more complex than just a Fleurs. Something you should know is the atomizer on Sisley perfumes is extremely delicate and gentle. This is a type of atomizer that you could easily mist all over your entire body and your clothes and even your hair if you wanted to. So this is extremely, I feel like it's very unique, but at the same time, it's not that challenging. Something about it is very unique. I don't know if it's the aldehydes or it's the angelica in this, but it's this bright, very like tart, not very fruity tart like L'Ombre, Donlo, or Eau Rose. It's a different kind of tartness. It's just more of a fresh and crisp kind of fruity sharpness to this perfume. It has that. So yeah, the aldehydes, bergamot is in this, angelica, musk. The rose here, I think, is like a pink kind of rose, where this is much more, something like this is much more of a photorealistic rose, this one as well, than this one here. It's more of like an abstract idea of a rose. Other people might disagree with me on that, but to me, it doesn't smell like a straight up rose scent. Yeah, and there's also pink pepper, and I'm really getting that. It has this very refined pepperiness. It's not screechy at all or scratchy. It's very gentle and smooth. It flows nicely. So to me, this is one of the more special rose perfumes in this video. It's just so different, but being so pleasing. And it's a little bit of a splurge, but I think something like this, if you know somebody that likes rose, this would make a beautiful gift. And the box it comes in is also very pretty. There's a lotion in this line that you could use to layer with it, which might be helpful because it's not, I think I'm usually lucky if I do get around 5 hours out of this perfume. So it's not the strongest one. I've had this bottle for a while now, so I do hope that with time it will get even stronger. As more oxygen is introduced into the bottle and all that stuff with maceration. But yeah, just a very bright, fresh, bit abstract, pinky red, peppery kind of rose with an undercut of tangy fruit. Not as fruity, like I said, not as fruity as this one or this one. Doesn't have that like lychee fruity quality or black currant. But yeah, very nice, extremely chic perfume. Definitely a good signature scent is Izia. These two are pretty similar. And actually, I think I came across this because I was searching for perfumes that were like Izia. And there's definitely a bit of a similarity here. This is a little bit more, because of that tea, like I said, it has a little bit more of a syrupy sweetness to it. It's not a sweet perfume, but I get that sort of sensation like in my mouth with that. Whereas this is a little bit lighter and more crisp and peppery, where this one is not really peppery at all to me. So I think that's all of the perfumes. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, that's everything. I hope this video helps you. If you're looking to try some new rose perfumes, or if you already are familiar with these, I'd love to know your perspective. So maybe the most straight up rose, if I had to say, the Persian rose, Rose de Taif, this possibly as well. But you know, pink rose is like, what does a pink rose smell? It's kind of like a fantasy note in a way. So it's hard to say that this is like photorealistic, but so yeah, these two are probably the most abstract. Might be oh, and this is also like, this is highly praised as being a photorealistic kind of rose. So there's that. This might be the most abstract rose, Perris, and as well as Izia. Still pretty rosy though. Yeah, I think that's everything I was going to say about these perfumes. So thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.